conservatism still runs deep. For young girls, this can be harsh terrain. Oppression starts early here. Tahira was married off at the age of 12 to a middle-aged man. Her mother, Jan Bano, claims her husband and his parents abused her for years, then inflicted a lingering death, a claim they deny.
She was far from home, without her mother to turn to. She could only call on God. Those cruel people made her suffer for days.
As Tahira lay dying from a suspected acid attack, she named her tormentors and said they should burn like she did. In her search for justice, Tahira's mother has turned to a new ally, Pakistan's first women's jirga, or forum for resolving disputes. We sat in on proceedings as it dealt with claims for unpaid salaries, problems with the water supply, and murder. A local lawyer was on hand with advice. This gathering is making history and perhaps making enemies, but organisers say they've had enough of male injustice.
Our society is a male-dominated society, and our men treated our women like a slave, and they even don't give them their rights, and they consider them like their property.
Risks for you personally, what about the dangers?
There may be some risks for me, but I have to fight.
And she's fighting for women like Norina, tortured to death in May. Her husband and his parents have been charged with the crime. Her mother, Taj Mahal, says her lips and eyes were glued shut. She was strangled and her arm was broken in 3 places. But initially, the courts were ignoring the case.
Whenever we brought applications to the judge, he would tear them up and throw them away. Now our voice is being heard because of the jirga.
In this community, women are little seen or heard, thanks to culture and tradition. Here in Swat and in many parts of Pakistan, men usually make the key decisions. Women and girls often have little or no say over their own lives. Male relatives dictate if they go to school, who they marry, and when they marry. So how do men here feel about a women's jirga? The local men's jirga is dismissive, saying the women have no power to enforce their decisions. But on the streets, a surprising response. Who is in favour of the women having their own jirga? Raise your hands. Most of those we asked were behind the women. Back in her village, Jan Bano goes to pray for her daughter. She visits Tahira's grave every day. Those accused of killing her have just been acquitted, but Jan Bano is going to appeal that verdict with the jirga's help. Orla Gearan, BBC News, Swat.
The British pharmaceutical firm GlaxoSmithKline has sought to distance itself from a